Oh, alrighty. You are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 in playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Dallas Cowgirls. And why are the Dallas Cowgirls 0-16? Because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all is going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Or if there's anybody at all who's going to spend any time watching a replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free. Fire away, throw it in the chat box. I try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away. Plus, instead of me just like rambling on for 30 minutes, it's nice to talk to another Giant fan. So please feel free, fire away. Before we get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, there's a top link in the description box. Takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. First one's called the Saquon. Second membership level is called Lawrence Taylor, and the third membership level is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. So if anybody out there wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. If you are subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. I can use all the support I can get. But if you're not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. That way, next time I go live, put a video out, you'll be notified, and it's free of charge, right? What do you got to lose, right? But as I said, once again, if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. And then finally, in the description box below, okay, there's 2 Facebook links. Okay, the top one takes you to my Facebook. It's a group. Okay, it's called the New York Giants of Gridiron. It's a group. Okay, and I say this in every video. Basically, my YouTube channel, my Facebook group, and the Facebook page is all called the same thing. It's all called the New York Giants of Gridiron. Okay, that way, as I say, it's all a moron like me. I don't forget. It's not like, what's the page called? What's my group called? Is the channel? It's all called the same thing. It makes it nice and simple for me. What do we have? We have over 3,200 members in the group. Okay. It's 7 days a week. Okay. As soon as I get done here, I'll start putting stuff in the group and in the page, which I'll go over in a minute. And I try to get, up to like 10 items a day, whether it's a post, a picture, a video, something making fun of the Eagles or the Cowboys. Those are my personal favorites. But also not do I put stuff in here, but the members put stuff in here as well, too. Okay, so there's a ton of Giants information going in here every day. All right. And then the second Facebook link, okay, takes you to my page. It's a Facebook page. It's called, once again, the New York Giants Gridiron. But this one's a page. I'm the administrator. I'm the only one that posts in here. What do we got? We have over 1,200 people who like it. We have over 4,800 people who are following the page. So I'll tell you what, the page is really doing good. Really doing good. It's the same thing. It's 7 days a week. Usually, like, once I get done with this video here, I'll just start putting stuff out there as much as I can. Sometimes in the off season, it's a little difficult to come up with a ton of information or, topics and all that stuff. But I try to get as much stuff in there as I can every day. And basically, I don't commingle them. All right. So basically, the stuff that I put in the page, I don't put in the group. Whatever I put in the group, I don't put in the page. Every now and then, maybe I'll find something really juicy that makes fun of the Eagles. That's like my personal baby, because I live to make fun of the Eagles. That's the reason I get up every morning. Okay, is just to make fun of the Philadelphia Eagles. I despise them, absolutely despise them. So as I said, maybe I'll share that maybe with the page in the group. But other than that, for the most part, I just keep the things like separate, okay? So if you go to the page and you like it and you follow it, and you go to the group and you become a member, there's a ton, okay, of New York Giants and information every day that you get, all right? And I says also in every video, right? If you go to the group and you become a member, if you go to the page and you like it and you follow it, between the two, if you're not 100% satisfied, you get your money back guaranteed. All right, with all that stuff said and done, out of the way with, I got a couple things here. I'll finish. I'm gonna finish off with the Pro Bowlers. But one thing, where are we at? I got 312,000. There we go. Tabs open. And Ndamukong Suh, he's on I guess the NFL channel now, or the NFL network, whatever it is. So he's been on there. So he predicted the Giants to have 11 wins. Now it was kind of interesting because I saw a little side note or something like that. He's and the dude's 36 years old. The dude frickin' earned it. Actually, last year he made, I think it was $2 million with the Eagles last year. Okay. He's not the starter, right? He comes in, he's going to give you some solid reps without question. He's going to clog up the frickin' middle, right? He's really going to help you in the run game. I don't know if the Giants would ever going to want to go out of the way and bring him in as well too. But I mean, he's still available. But I did see where he's not going to he's as I said once again, he earned it. He's 36 years old. I don't even know if he'll ever play again. Who knows? But he did say, I'm not going to training camp. He said it was something along like, I'll go to training camp, but if you want me to help coach the guys or cheer them up or something, or whatever, I'm all for that, but I'm not. So he said, but if the regular season rolls around, you let me know. He said, I'll be ready. So, I mean, once again, somebody his age, he has he'll have a specific role. Okay. I don't know, if the Giants would want to try to bring him in. I mean, especially if you got, you got your fearsome foursome, right? You got right. So you got Sexy Dexter and Leonard Williams. And then you have Nunez Roches and you got Ashawn Robinson, right? So you got your four. Okay. Now, I don't know, as I said, I don't know if you'd want to bring a fifth one in there, especially if he's going to want, and it only cost you maybe, I don't know, it was $2 million last year. I don't know if he cost you that much, then maybe it might be $1.5 million this year. Who knows? But I mean, he would have a specific role. He would probably only want to play in 10, 15 snaps a game, just throwing a number out there. But, or if say something happens to one of the other guys that get hurt, well, now he moves up in the rotation, so he might have to play 20 snaps a game or something like that. But he'll have a specific role. But I mean, might be interesting, to actually see where he winds up going, right? I mean, because as I said, he's not going to probably participate in training camp, but if somebody needs him for the regular season, he said he'll be ready. So, but I mean, he's not it's not like what it was 10 years ago when he's the starter and he's going to go in there and just, wreak all kinds of havoc. But he'll be ready for somebody. But he did predict, which is cool. I can, all right, okay, hey, man, he's never been a Giant, right? Last year, he was on a team that beat the Giants 3 times last year, right? So, he ain't got no love for the Giants, but hey, I'll take 11 wins. But if we can go 11-6, I'm all for that. But he did say they weren't going to beat the Eagles. I mean, obviously, this is just what he's saying. But he did say we were going to beat the Cowboys week 1 now, so you got to give him a little bit of love there. What the hell has he got here? He may be a former Eagle, but we are all of a sudden big fans of Ndamukong Suh right now. Earlier this week, the veteran defensive tackle, who remains a free agent, went on NFL Total Access to discuss his thoughts on the New York Giants 2023 campaign, right? Plain and simple, Suh thinks that it's going to be a big year for the Giants and its second-year head man, Brian Daboll. Suh has predicted the Giants to go 11-6 on the year. Okay. All right. Including a week 1 victory over the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. Okay. Oh, my bad. 2 thumbs up to you. So 11 wins and a return to the postseason. Big Blue supporters would love to see this go down this upcoming campaign. I mean, the thing is the way that with the, I guess it's like, I forgot what the percentage was, but it's like I don't know, like half the teams, I think it is from the year. It's like whatever the teams that made the playoffs last year, like half of them won't make the playoffs this year. So it's getting, increasingly, I mean, unless you got, I said like the Eagles, right? You got that phenomenal overall team, right? If you got yourself Patrick Mahomes, okay, right? I mean, it looks like the Bills, I mean, see, you have yourself a few teams, right? I mean, like the 49ers, they're kind of built, to do some things, right? So, I mean, you might have a few teams here sprinkled here and there that maybe, kind of perennial playoff teams, but it's nowadays it's really, really tough to keep, I mean, just because you made the playoffs last year, I mean, you notice a lot of the predictions are, it's like, okay, the Jaguars made the playoffs last year, so they're going to make the playoffs this year. The Lions really ended the season really well. So a lot of teams are predicting it, like in the power rankings, that the Lions are like in the top 5 or so in the NFC power ranks. So they're making a play. I mean, so a lot of it just seems like it's like, well, okay, well, whoever did good last year, they're going to do good again this year. Well, it's not, it doesn't work out that way, right? We're finding out like almost half the teams, there's a certain percentage. I know what it is. I mean, going back like 5, 6, 7, 8 years, they keep track of it. It's like 47% of the teams or something, like whatever it is, that made the playoffs last year don't make it this year, right? So, I mean, if you can make it, if you're making the playoffs year in and year out, I mean, of course, the object is to win the Super Bowl, of course. I mean, to go to the playoffs every year and wind up losing in the first round or second round or what, that's but it's very difficult. I mean, it's not the way it was, when I was growing up. I mean, when I was growing up, every year the Cowboys were in there, every year. Every year the Raiders were in it. I mean, back in the 70s, every year once 72 rolled around, every year the Steelers were in it. In the 60s, every year the Packers were in it. I mean, you go back into the 50s, the mid 50s. I mean, on back to the mid 40s, the Browns were in the championship game 10 years in a row. Of course, 46, 47, 48, 49 was like an all-American football conference they were in. But but you go back. I mean, you go back in the 80s, right? You had like the 49ers, right? Then you had the 90s. You had the Cowboys won 3 Super Bowls. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of the same teams kept going to the playoffs every year. I mean, it's tough nowadays. I mean, it's tough, and it's only going to get tougher. Like with free agency, and you're noticing a lot of the the shorter deals and and all that, and it's tough. It's tough. But I'll tell you what, if Ndamukong Suh thinks the Giants are going to win 11, cool. I'm all for it. I'll tell you what, it was so. I had heard him talk like years ago. It's been a while, but when I listened to him talk on the NFL Network, and I was like, wow. He's just like so soft-spoken and everything like that. Because what you think of him is like, the times like maybe he had some dirty shots or some cheap shots in there. Like one time I think he stepped on, was it Aaron Rodgers? I think it was. And so he's had his moments there where he turns a switch and he just turns, you don't want to piss that dude off, right? But then you listen to him on the NFL Network and he's just like so polite and soft-spoken. I was like, damn, is that the same guy that plays football and wants to kill people? But he remains a free agent. Interesting to see. But I think the Giants are I think with their fearsome foursome, I think maybe possibly if like Leonard Williams, what may not have, if he's still having lingering problems with his neck and he might be kind of up in the air or something like that, we might maybe pursue getting somebody else in there. But I think if we got our 4, I think we're good to go. But I think I'd be shocked if somebody didn't pick Sewell up, and especially if he said when regular season rolls around, he's might be $1.5 million to $2 million. He'd be a good option to get some good defensive depth in there for sure. Now the Giants, apparently, I mean, I don't know. I don't know why. I mean, you hear all this stuff. The Giants are connected to an intriguing free agent offensive lineman now, Dalton Risner. Now. It says here, looking to bolster the area of the depth chart, the Giants have been predicted, I don't know who comes up with this stuff, to sign free agent guard Dalton Risner. It's a surprise that Risner is still available, okay, because he was with the Broncos. I forget who it was. The Broncos, I don't know if it says in this article, they replaced him, Ben Powers. Okay, they signed Ben Powers to replace him. Okay, now he's only played 4 seasons in the NFL. What the hell we had there? Says him? Nope. There we go. Yeah, okay. Dalton Risner. He's probably played 4 seasons in the NFL, all with Denver. Well, what was he? Second round pick 41. Okay, from K-State. All right, in the 2019 draft. So he's what is he? He's 27. He'll be 28 in July. Okay, so he's still, he's still got some football on him. That's for sure. He grades out in the 60s. Let's see. Pass blocking is last season's pass block was a 72.6 last year. Very respectable. His run blocking's not ideal. Okay. Overall, this PFF. Those are grades I go by with PFF. He graded out a 61 last year, basically because his pass blocking was like a 72. His run blocking was a 53. So basically, kind of in the middle, he was like a 61 overall. In 2021. He graded out at a 68.5 overall. I mean, we're not talking Hall of Fame numbers, but very solid numbers. His pass blocking grade in 2021 was a 73.6, so very respectable. He's played a lot. I mean, in 2022, he played 967 snaps. 2021, he played 832. 2020, he played 999 snaps, and 2019, 975 snaps. I mean, 1, 2, 3. Looks like he played 35. Looks like he played in every game last year, right? I mean, the one thing was that the Broncos, their offense wasn't super spectacular, so they weren't like as Russell Wilson was having some problems, but so they weren't on the field, 3/4 of the game. Usually, they struggle quite a bit, but looks like he's dependable. He's cheap. In this article, it says quite possibly he could be had for maybe like a 1-year deal. Maybe, somebody brings him in for maybe $5 million a year, right? Then if he winds up making the team or something, then maybe somebody signs him to a long-term contract. But this article kind of has it where he's like, why is this guy still available, right? But, I mean, I don't know. It's like, I don't know where some of these people get this. Like, why are we attached to him? Right. I mean, we got Ben Bredeson and Ezeudu. Those guys. Okay. Ezeudu was drafted in the 3rd round. You don't draft a guard in the 3rd round. Just he's going to be some good depth for it. No, you take a guard in the 3rd round. You have visions of him being a starting guard. Okay. And unfortunately, his season got cut short last year. Right. Terrence. We invested a top 100 pick in Ezeudu. And McKeithen, it was impressive in camp before he got her. Yeah, I know. It's unbelievable. So that's what I'm saying. So I don't know where some of these people get this stuff is we're linked to this guy, or Barry Sanders is coming out of retirement and he's linked to the Giants, and Joe Montana's coming out of retirement and he's linked to the Giants. I don't know if it's like clickbait so people can read it, or I don't know what, but I don't know. And we have Glowinski for 1 more season. At least for 1 more. We can keep him for 2 more seasons. But after this season, we could get rid of Glowinski. I don't see us keeping Glowinski. I mean, I think he was the only one that played all the games last year. So he was healthy. You got to give him credit for that. But I mean, he did a decent job, Glowinski, but there was a lot of times where it was like, Daniel Jones is dropping back to pass. And as he's dropping back to pass, Glowinski's getting dropped back to pass because he's getting bull rushed into Daniel Jones. So there's some times where Glowinski was not, So we can get out of Glowinski contract after this season. And I think we'll be a little bit of dead money cap next season, but we can get out of it. With a little bit of hurt. But I mean, I said, you want to see what McKeithen can do. But unfortunately, he got hurt. I said, we got Ezeudu. Let's see what he can do. Ben Bredeson, right? Ben Bredeson, he gets injured too. But he's done a decent job for us too. So I don't know where this coming from. I mean, you got that. We got Glowinski, I forgot Shane Lemieux. If that guy can even stay on the field. The first year he was here, he played, and he did not grade out very well. The next 2 seasons, the first week of the 2021 season, he played 17 snaps. against Shane Lemieux against the Broncos. He basically played the first quarter of the first game, and with his partially torn patellar tendon, his season was over. Last year he had the toe injury. So he came in and he played against the Lions, but apparently the injury was just so bad or whatever, he couldn't play. He graded out horrible against the Lions. That whole game was a freaking just a nightmare. The turnovers, we lost. We got embarrassed. We lost to Adoree Jackson. I mean, that was horrible. Absolutely horrible. Was it Hutchinson dropped back into coverage? Daniel Jones didn't see him. He throws an interception. Hutchinson, he picks the pass off and runs it not back for a touchdown, but he gets the Lions in scoring position. I mean, that game was just horrible, absolutely horrible. But so we got some guys, especially we want to see where we want to go. I mean, you want to see, do we want to keep Bredesen, right? Let's hope, knock on wood. Hopefully we got a Zudo. I mean, I'm pulling for him. You've got a third round guy. You want the third round guy to be a starter, right? I mean, he's young. Let's get him in there. Let's hope he can stay healthy. And said, let's see what McKeithen can do. They drafted that guy for a reason too, right? I mean, you just don't waste a fifth round pick on somebody. But maybe McKeithen doesn't start to crack the starting lineup. But maybe he might be, he can be some interior offensive line depth, right? But I said I'm not exactly sure what his Reisner thing is. But we got a lot of guys. I mean, if you look, let me count it: 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I mean, we got 15 offensive linemen, right, on the depth chart. That's a lot of guys. I don't know why we would be bringing in another guy, especially have to shell out like $5 million a season for the guy. I'm not so sure about that. I think we'll try to maybe address that maybe next year in the draft if we're going to let Lewinsky go, or I'll have to wait and see. But I don't see us going after this guy Reisner at all. Nah. Then I saw there's an article. What the heck was it? There's 5 Giants. Okay, who's this fan cited? G-Men HQ. 5 New York Giants who are most likely to earn Pro Bowl honors this season. Now the first one they got, okay, is let's see, is it? Okay, they got Kayvon here. Okay, 5. Let's see. Last season we saw 2 players for the Giants make the Pro Bowl: Saquon and Sexy Dexy. However, entering the 2023 season, there was a great chance we could see much more than just 2 players earn that honor. Not only did the Giants gain tons of talent, but their recognition amongst the fans who are voting will be much higher, which is true. Absolutely, absolutely. This lack of recognition last season is what led to certain Giants getting snubbed from the games, which is true. I believe so. After what will likely be back-to-back successful seasons, though, it will be impossible to deny these guys from making the Pro Bowl. Now they got, Kayvon, all right, is the first guy they think might wind up making the Pro Bowl. It says, after an incredibly fun rookie, Kayvon enters his second NFL season with a chance to make the leap to stardom. The flashes that Thibodeau showcased last year gave us hope that he could go down as one of the best pass rushers in Giants history. Well, I mean, he also got to get those calls, too. I mean, how many times last year? I mean, I don't know how many times. It's just unbelievable, right? He's coming around the edge. The tackle's got his arm like around his throat, his helmet and all. I mean, and they don't call. I don't understand. I don't understand that. It's just, maybe this will be his second season. Maybe they'll start pulling the flag out for him. I don't know. But what did he? I mean, he only, obviously, don't get me wrong. It's pretty tough to get a sack. What did he have? Was it 4 sacks last year? I mean, he had 13 quarterback hits, 49 tackles overall. He had 2 fumble recoveries. He had the one. He had 5 passes defense, 2 forced fumbles. He had the 1 touchdown, which won us the game against the Commanders. He missed a couple of games, obviously early on when he got hit in the knee, blocked in the knee against the Bengals in preseason, so he missed some time. But other than that, he was on the field. I'll tell you what, to me, I mean, I don't, there ain't no lack in hustle in the guy. The guy was a hustler. Matter of fact, it was him who kept Taylor Heineke out of the end zone in the Commanders game, right? Because they were driving. We had Kayvon. he dropped into coverage. He was in the end zone. Taylor Heineke, I forgot, I can't remember exactly what downs it was and all. Maybe Heineke, maybe he ran and got inside the 1 or something like that. But Kayvon was in the end zone, turned around, seen Heineke running with the ball, and Kayvon forced him to go out of bounds inside like the 1 or 2 yard line. So if it wasn't for Kayvon, they would have scored a touchdown. Now they would have gotten the 2-point conversion to tie us up, but so Kayvon's a hustler. I don't know where people are talking that he doesn't hustle and everything, but it would be nice. Maybe he'll get some calls this year. But I'll tell you what, I mean, if you look at Kayvon, what Kayvon did, okay, if Azeez Ojulari can stay healthy, I mean, you look at what Azeez did. I mean, you look at some of those games, and when he was like shot out of a rocket. Some of those snaps. I mean, he was in the backfield, big time. I mean, they said right here, okay, Kayvon was in 14 games, okay, had 4 sacks. All right, let's see. Azeez played in 7 games. He had 5.5 sacks. Okay, Azeez played 155 pass rushing snaps. 155. He had 5.5 sacks. Okay. So basically one out of every 30 pass rushes, Azeez had a sack. 1 out of every 30. So basically that's about a sack a game. So if you figure normally 30 to 40 passes a game the other team will have, right? Sometimes it's more, sometimes maybe a little bit less. If the other teams like maybe the Eagles, when they're running for like 250 yards against the Giants, why are you throwing the ball, right? If you can just turn around, when Jalen Hurts could just turn around and hand the ball off, or Jalen Hurts could just take off and get 10 yards almost at will, why are you throwing the ball, right? But I mean, Azeez Ojulari, if he could stay healthy, I'll tell you what. I mean, I said he 155 snaps, he had 5.5 sacks. What did Kayvon have? Okay, as I say, Kayvon looks like he had 4. He was in 466 snaps. Okay, so basically every 115 snaps, one every 115. So let's just round it up, just to 120. 1 out of every 120 snaps, pass rushing snaps, 120. 1 out of 120 pass rushing snaps for Kayvon, he had a sack. 120. Okay. 1 out of every 30 for Azeez had a sack. So he was getting 4 times the amount of sacks, 30 compared to 120, right? So you do the math. I mean, you put him out there, right? I mean, if he was out there as much as let's see, what was it? 30, there would have been 3, 13, 4. If he was out there for as many pass rushing snaps, okay, and of course, I'm just saying, if he was out there for as many pass rushing snaps as Kayvon was last year, Azeez would have had about 15 sacks. Okay. Now, also, some of it was also Azeez was injured, so he had to take time. He missed a couple games to recuperate. Right. But the rest of his body wasn't beat up and stuff like that. So maybe when he missed a few games, he came in and he was pretty fresh, and you could just see him, flying off the ball at the snap and all that. So, so maybe he won't get 1 sack every 30 snaps or whatever. I mean, if he winds up playing week in and week out, but, I mean, you get up around 10, 11, 12 sacks in the season, you got to start doing some, some Pro Bowl mention, right? Now, Azeez, his run defense isn't always the greatest, okay, but his pass rushing is very good, according to also Pro Football Focus, okay. But I mean, last year, he played week 3 against the Cowboys. He played 30 snaps. Week 4, he played 30 snaps, and then he didn't play again till week 13. He played 49 snaps against Washington. Week 14, 15, 16, 17 he played. But basically he got hurt in week 16 against Minnesota. He only played 22 snaps. Played the next week against Indianapolis, tried to come back and play. He only played in 7 snaps. Okay. Then he missed the week 18. He played 8 snaps in the wild card game against Minnesota. And then in the divisional playoff game, he only played in 14 snaps. Okay. So, so he missed a lot of time last year. But, if he can stay healthy, look out. All right. So what did he have in his rookie year? His rookie, he had 8 sacks. Okay. What did he have there? I'd say 8 sacks. What were we at? Okay, 8 sacks, 435 pass rushes. He had 8 sacks. Okay. So, that's like one every maybe 50, a little over 50 pass rushing snaps. He got a sack. So, if he can stay healthy, look out for Azeez. All right. Because, there's nothing sexier than obviously than getting a sack. If you're an edge rusher, you look like Ngakoue, right? Maybe not the past couple of seasons, but when Ngakoue first came in and all that, and he had all of those sacks, he was not very good against the run. Okay. You knew you're not getting a phenomenal edge rusher who he's setting the edge and you ain't getting around me. I'm Mr. Run defender. And you're not getting that from me. Why do you get, why is he there? Right? Why is Ngakoue there? Well, it's his sacks. He can get to the quarterback, right? That's sexy, right? So it doesn't matter if he may not be a great run defender, but if he's getting to the quarterback and he's getting his 10, 12, 13 sacks, whatever it is, you're going to get some Pro Bowl, right? People are going to want to see you. If you can sack the quarterback, people are going to want to see you. So don't discount Azeez Ojulari, especially if he can stay healthy. I'm dying to see how many sacks he can get, right? All right, then we got who can make the Pro Bowl on. Well, in this article here, they got, of course, Darren Waller. Okay, it says the entire case for Darren Waller to make his second career Pro Bowl selection depends on his ability to stay healthy, which is absolutely. So if Waller can remain healthy for the majority of the season, then we have few doubts that he will play at a high enough level to be a Pro Bowler. In 2020, last season, which Waller played all 16 games, he caught 107 passes. Whew, wow. Could you imagine? If he has numbers somewhat close to this in 2023, then it will be a sure shot lock for the Pro Bowl. Absolutely. Man, that's 107 receptions, okay, in 16 games. So basically, if he wound up playing 17 games, he would have had well over 110 receptions. He was 2020, man, he was unbelievable. And he without question, they're going to try to get him the ball. The question is, can he stay healthy? Let's hope. The other guy, of course, they say is Saquon Barkley, right? Without question. Saquon, once again, he had a phenomenal season. Plus, he's the face of the franchise. People want to see him regardless. All right. So if he can stay healthy, right, stay on the field, right. And he had 1,312 yards, 10 rushing touchdowns last year. Okay. Had 57 receptions. So had a bunch of touches. What did he have? 295. So he had like almost over 350 touches. Okay. But so he had 1,300 and so we had what was it, 16, almost 1,700 yards, about 1,650 yards altogether. So, he had a good year. So once again, if he signs his contract, if he plays and all that stuff, if he can stay healthy, it's the same thing. It's the running game. A good running game opens up the pass game. A good passing game opens up the run game. If you got a Waller, right, stretching the field, you got Hyatt opening things up and all of that stuff, that's going to help the run game. A good run game, right, brings the guys in the box. Maybe you try to load the box to shut down Saquon. Well, then you got Waller and Hyatt and Slayton and Paris Campbell taking off down the field, which opens up the passing game, right? So everything helps each other. So without question, I can certainly see Saquon being, another Pro Bowl season. Once again, he's got to stay healthy. Then you're going to have your guys right here. Okay, you basically the article ends up, the top two guys. Okay, is you got Andrew Thomas and Dexter Lawrence. Now it was really good with Dexter Lawrence, like with Andre Patterson coming in, Wink Martindale pushed him more like right on the nose tackle. It seems like he really took off. They had a phenomenal season. Okay. Now, if he can stay healthy, okay, they don't put as much wear and tear on his body. Okay. And they use him in the right way, and they use him, he gets 50 snaps a game, somewhere around there, right? Instead of the 60 or 70 that he was using because they had to overuse him, and you keep him fresh. He might be one of those guys, kind of like a perennial Pro Bowler without question. He's got to stay healthy though. Okay. And the same thing with Andrew Thomas. I mean, you can see the huge leap he had. I mean, I said, I pulled it up here. He had, my goodness, for a sec, and here we go. Graded out PFF. All right, he graded out a 90.3. Just freaking phenomenal. His rookie grade, he graded out a 62.4. His second season in 2021, he graded out a 78.9. Last season, it was a 90.3. Phenomenal season. Absolutely phenomenal season. And once again, the same thing with him. He's got to stay healthy. Let's knock on wood and all that stuff. His ankles and his feet stay healthy, right? But you can certainly see. This will be his fourth season coming up. The guy's a pro. He ain't going to do nothing to screw up his career or life or anything like that. He's just going to stay focused. And, he's going to keep working on his craft, and he's only going to get, better, right? He's still young, just a baby, right? Evan Neal is going to have a big, right? Absolutely. Oh yeah. I look for Evan Neal to take a huge jump too. Absolutely. As I'm saying, that's a nice thing. Because now you have Evan Neal, hopefully getting better. You got Andrew Thomas. Hopefully, got Michael Schmitz, right? So now we got three pieces to the puzzle right there. Is Ezeudu the fourth piece to the puzzle? Because ideally, you want to have all these guys working together. You don't want every year, you're letting two guys go and you're bringing in two free agents who are supposed to be good and they're supposed to gel together. And after that season, you let another two guys go and you bring another two guys in, and okay, everybody work together and gel together. And after that, we'll let three more guys go. We'll bring, you don't want that. You want to bring in guys, the fearsome fight, whatever, and just, okay, guys, well, this is you. It's you five. Right, we'll see you at the end of the season, right? That's what you want. So let's hope maybe, as I said, Ezeudu can come in there, maybe earn a starting job, stay healthy, right? And then, maybe what we're going to do with the right guard with Glowinski, we'll have to end up waiting and see. But at least we know we have Glowinski for one more season. Okay, but ideally, that's what you want. It's like what the Giants had back, and with Snee and Deal and Seibert and McKenzie and O'Hara. Those guys played a ton of games in a row, and then all of a sudden, toward, was it 2011? That's when O'Hara got he was injured. I think they let him go after 2010. I think who was in there, but some of the guys just started, getting old and injured and all that and everything. But for 4 or 5 years there, we had like the same guys over and over and over, and that's ideally what you want. It's not that easy. Because basically you got to find 5 guys that can gel together. Okay. Then you got to find 5 guys that can stay healthy together. That's another, but so it's not easy. It's a lot of hops. If it was that easy, it would have been done a long time ago. I'm just kind of like, some of the things it's like we traded for like Kevin Zeitler, who still past couple seasons that the Giants didn't have did rather well. We had problems. He was our guard, right? We had problems on the offensive line. So we make a trade, for the Odell Beckham Jr., whatever, we get Kevin Zeitler. Okay. Now you got yourself, but I guess it was the money. So we it was more important for us to bring in Kenny Golladay than to keep Kevin Zeitler. So we couldn't afford to keep Kevin Zeitler anymore because we didn't have the money. So we had to let him go so we can bring in, I guess, Kenny Golladay. All right. But it's just, when you have a good, solid guard there, yeah, he's there for 2 years, has 2 decent seasons. I said when he was with the Ravens the past 2 years, he graded out very well with the Ravens. Now he's a little bit old, So he's not somebody you're going to build around and he'll be on the team for the next 10 years. That's not happening. Thomas, Azudu, Schmidt, McKeith, and Neal, my ideal starting line. Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, hey, I'm going to be interested to see what McKeith winds up doing. I mean, maybe he's going to be a backup, and once again, do they have visions upon him? If they let Glowinski go, have McKeith slide in there, guard. That could be. I mean, just because he was taken in the 5th round, certainly sure as heck doesn't mean he can't play starting guard. Right, but the problem is, the shame is, it is what it is. But I mean, it's freaking injuries. I mean, just derailing these the seasons. I mean, injured. Zudu wiped out his season last year. McKeith, I mean, he was injured in the game that they play inside the stadium. I can't remember what the name of it is, where the Giant players play the Giant players. It's the fan night or whatever that was. I think that's when he got injured, McKeith. I mean, it's unbelievable. And you got Xavier McKinney on our bye week, goes in, breaks up his hand. It's like, man, can we catch a break? But very, very interesting. Hopefully we can stay healthy this year, and it'd be interesting to see what we got. Yeah, Fan Fest. Oh, you were there? Oh, yeah. Oh, cool. Pretty cool. I'm sure that's got to be a lot of fun. I mean, it's not a lot of fun to see McKeith get, I don't know if he got carted off the field or not, but I mean, for his season to be over with, but I'm sure it was a lot of fun. Of course, they'll have it again this year. Maybe everybody can stay healthy this year, but I mean, that's the thing, is to try to get the guys healthy. The thing is, you got to practice, though. You got to practice, but, injuries happen. But, all right, guys, it's been 41 minutes. Terrence, good talking to you again, buddy. Thanks for your comments. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. So if anybody spends any time watching me here, I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thank you. If anybody spends any time watching the replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. And as always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo!